I used to think silence kept peace. Turns out, silence just teaches people how to treat you. That night at the steakhouse, my sister slid a breadbasket toward my son and said, "We didn't order for him." Her tone was so casual you'd think humiliation was part of the menu. My dad chuckled. "You should have packed him something." Their kids were chewing on $100 steaks while mine stared at cold bread. I smiled, said one word, "Noted." Every head at that table turned. They thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. That night didn't just change my family, it exposed what we'd all been pretending not to see. Before I tell you how it all unraveled, tell me where you're listening from, because I know I'm not the only one who's had to draw a line with family. People ask what my family's like, and I usually say we're complicated. Easier than explaining that I grew up in a house where my sister Tessa was treated like glass, and I was treated like concrete. She was fragile, precious, untouchable. I was the strong one, the fixer, the one who didn't need love, just responsibility. I still remember my mom saying, "Maya's strong. She doesn't need much attention." I used to think that was a compliment. But strength has a price. It means when you finally break, no one believes you can. I'm 35 now. A single mom with a 9-year-old son named Liam. He's quiet, observant, the kind of kid who watches everything but says little. I work as an administrative manager at a charter school in Tempe, Arizona. Nothing glamorous, but it pays the bills and gives us peace. My parents still live in Phoenix, same house I grew up in. Same wallpaper. Same rules. My dad still thinks discipline is love. My mom still believes pretending keeps harmony. Tessa, she's the golden one. Always falling, always being caught. New job, new man, new disaster. My parents call her brave. When I help her pay rent or pick up her kids, they call me responsible. Funny how one person's charity is another person's duty. So when my parents invited me to their 45th anniversary dinner, I wanted to believe it was a truce. My mom's text said, "Just family, nothing fancy." I even offered to plan it. A beautiful steakhouse in Scottsdale, soft lighting, private room. I restored their old wedding photo from 1978, framed it perfectly. I thought maybe for one night we could feel like a family again. I didn't realize I was walking into a script I'd been playing my whole life, the one where love had conditions and respect had limits. Liam and I arrived 5 minutes early. He wore a little navy blazer, hair combed just the way he liked it, neat but not too babyish. He held my hand tight as we walked in. The air smelled like seared meat and money. Low jazz hummed in the background. Tessa and her family were already there. Her husband, Kyle, with a drink in hand, their boys glued to tablets. Tessa looked up, gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Oh hey, you made it." My mom gave me a distracted hug. My dad didn't move. The gift bag with the photo sat beside me like an afterthought. I helped Liam unfold his napkin, whispered, "You can order anything you want." He smiled at the chicken tenders. Simple. Safe. Then Tessa leaned over, slid the bread basket toward him and said, "We didn't order for your son." Mom figured he's picky anyway. I froze. My dad added, "You should have packed him something." The words hit like ice water, casual, cutting, practiced. My mom looked into her glass like it had answers. Liam's shoulders slumped. He didn't cry, just stared at the bread like it might disappear if he touched it. Something inside me cracked. Quietly. Not broken, decided. I smiled and said one word, "Noted." You could have heard a pin drop. My dad went back to his steak. Tessa blinked, unsure if she'd just been insulted. But Liam looked at me and I saw it. He understood that his mom wasn't going to take it anymore. When the waiter came back, polite and smiling, I stood up. "Actually," I said, "cancel any orders that haven't gone to the kitchen. And put everything already cooking on my father's tab. It's his anniversary after all." The waiter froze. The whole room went still. "And for my son," I continued, "the ribeye. Medium rare. Truffle fries. Coke. Make it quick." Liam stared at me like he was watching his favorite superhero come to life. I handed him a breadstick. "Eat, honey. We're fine." "Doug," sorry, Kyle cleared his throat. "Was that really necessary?" "Yes," I said. Calm as glass, and no one else spoke. The silence stretched thin and sharp. Uncle Frank, who'd arrived late with Aunt Laura, let out a low chuckle. Laura's eyes met mine, proud, steady, like she'd been waiting years for me to finally stand up. When the check came, the waiter set it right in front of my dad. His face went red, but he didn't say a word. I took out the framed wedding photo, set it gently on the table. Happy anniversary, I said, and walked out holding Liam's hand. Outside, the night air was cold, clean. Mom, Liam said quietly, you weren't scared. I smiled. No, baby. I was done. That night my phone wouldn't stop buzzing, calls from Mom, missed FaceTimes from Tessa, one long voicemail from Dad. I didn't listen to a single one. For once the silence felt like peace. Then a text came through from Tessa. You owe Dad for the dinner. $1,200. Pay your share. I typed one word. Noted. Then deleted it. I didn't need to send it. The next morning there was a knock. My parents and Tessa on my porch. No warning. No shame. Dad had an envelope. Mom's lips were pale. Can we come in? She asked, already stepping forward. I let them. That's the bill, Dad said, placing it on the counter. You agreed to pay half. Actually, I said, I didn't agree to anything. I offered to host. You turned it into a public shaming. That was your tab. You embarrassed us, Mom said, trembling. In public. Tessa scoffed. You looked crazy. I laughed softly. Crazy? You called my son invisible. Maybe that's what crazy looks like to people who can't handle a mirror. Before anyone could answer, Uncle Frank's truck pulled up. He and Laura walked in like a quiet storm. Laura picked up the envelope, looked at my parents. You really came here to collect money from your daughter? After that. This isn't your business, my mom snapped. It is, Frank said. When you keep pretending one child's worth more than the other. Tessa rolled her eyes. Here we go again. Poor perfect Maya. I turned to her. You know, I covered your rent for almost a year. Paid your bills. Bought your kids Christmas gifts. You never said thank you. Frank slid papers across the table, proof. Transfers, receipts. I hadn't told him I kept them. Tessa went pale. You kept records? I keep receipts, I said. For people who forget how much they take. Mom snapped. Enough. This is private family business. Laura's voice was calm but sharp. Then start acting like a family. The room went silent. I opened the envelope, $1,200 bill. My dad's handwriting. Pay your share, Maya. I pulled $600 from my wallet, placed it on the counter. Here's half, not out of guilt. Out of pettiness. I sleep better knowing you didn't get the whole thing. My dad's face turned red. You're being disrespectful. No, I said. I'm being done. I slid forward the folder of receipts and screenshots. Proof of everything. Payments, messages, even the school counselor's note clearing Liam after their so-called concern report. My mom's face drained. My dad clenched his jaw. Tessa trembled. You're pathetic, she spat. No, I said quietly. You were always the favorite. You just mistook it for love. Frank nodded once. We're done here. They left one by one. I locked the door. Leaned against it. For the first time in my life I didn't cry. Then my phone rang. A voicemail from an unknown number. This is Child Services. We received a report about your son, Liam. We'd like to schedule a home visit. I froze. 2 hours later, 2 women arrived. Polite. Professional. They looked around, asked questions. Smiled at Liam's art on the fridge. One said before leaving, "You'd be surprised how often family does this." I wasn't surprised.